First off, I want to apologize for the background noise in the video. I am a father first and a creator second. And I decided not to take it out because I felt like, I would hope that some of y'all can relate with your filming and having to film around everybody else and the chaos of, being married and having children and whatnot. But so I decided to leave it in, just add a little bit of rawness to it because that's how I am. I want you guys to relate with me. I want to put out content for the fathers, for the guys that are just out there just being normal folks. That's all I ever want to be, is somebody normal. I will say this, that Freedom Gorilla did send this optic out at a discounted price. At the time of getting the optic, I reached out to Freedom Gorilla because I had bought optics from them in the past, and I had always promoted them and everything like that before I was ever any kind of anything. And I reached out to them, and they did decide to give me a discount on this optic for a shout out of their channel. But this shout out would have been given regardless, because that's who I like to do business with. Great customer service. You get the optic faster than you would if you bought it anywhere else. 9 times out of 10, they have free shipping. I will have the product linked in the description, so if you do want to help the channel, I am now a affiliate partner with Freedom Gorilla, and you can help the channel out by purchasing this optic from them through my link. But that being said, without being a partner with them, I was still going to rep them anyways, because that's where I get my stuff. Let's get into the specs real quick. Then we will have the unboxing and the install on the P365 Fuse. And I'm also going to show how to change your fiber optic sights in your Fuse. It'll typically work with any fiber optic front sight, how I do this. But if you get to that part and you decide that that's not what you're here for, you can skip to the end to get my final thoughts on this optic. All right, guys. So the SCS Carry is a K footprint series, or K footprint style optic, enclosed, or it can be run RMSC. They do have an adapter plate in there if you need it. It does have auto brightness, 7075 T6 aluminum. It has an internally rechargeable battery through solar charging, a multi-reticle system. You can get the 2 MOA dot, the 32 MOA circle, or you can have both of them at the same time. I typically like to run mine with just the circle. But it is green, and I do feel like green is a little bit better for someone with eyes like me. I do have astigmatism, and I don't get a lot of that starburst effect with the green that I do with the red. They say that this thing has 20,000 hours backup reserve. Now, that could be true. I mean, only time will tell. But the battery is inaccessible to you. You will have to send it off to Holosun if you do have any issues with it. But as of now, I've had no issues with the batteries. I picked this one up because I did carry the SCS 320 optic on my Echelon through about 4,000 or 5,000 rounds. Didn't have a single issue with it. Really enjoyed it. So that's why I wanted to pick up this SCS Carry. Let's get into the unboxing and review, guys. But before we do that, give your sister a break. Smash that like button. Come on, Ricky. Oh shit, Ricky, don't eat that. You remember what happened last time?
This is incredible!
Shh. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna voice over it.
What are you doing?
An unboxing. Wipe my ass with that later. Alright guys, here's the SCS 320. I enjoyed it so much, I decided to try out the SCS Carry. I'll show you a little comparison. One thing I wish they would have carried over the design from the SCS 320 to the SCS Carry, but it still works. Okay, one thing I do want to say here is that with the P365 Fuse, I did have to heat these screws up and go buy a specialty T10 Torx bit because it was very stubborn to get these bolts out, but after a little heat and buying a nicer bit, I was able to do it. So that's just something to keep in mind when you get ready to change your optic on your fuse. All right, guys, a little pro tip here I learned from working in the pump manufacturing industry. I always do half of the required torque. Then I go back and do the final torque just to keep from breaking anything. It'll save you from stripping a lot of bolts out as well. All right, guys, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna replace the fiber optic front sight on the P365 Fuse. So if you don't really care to see that, you can skip forward past this part here, but you just take your torch, heat up both ends of the fiber sight to kind of free it up from the channel, and then you want to take one of your replacements and push that through. Burn one end of the fiber optic in preparation for putting it in, and then you want to measure it and then cut it and then heat the other end up after you've installed it to add like a mushroom end to the end of both sides. Okay, as you guys can see, you want to leave enough hanging out to where you can heat it up and mushroom it over, and then you should be good. I don't know about y'all, but I like the red green combo. But you do get those in your P365 Fuse kit. I like to add a little oil to it here just to keep everything from, rusting up or anything. But here's a little section of them together, the SCS Carry and the SCS 320. We are clear. Nine. So I will say this, guys, I have carried this every day since installing it. Maybe 2 and 3 months ago, I put 2,000 rounds, probably more like 2,500 rounds through it. Zero issues out of the optic. I really enjoy it. I personally like this better than the EPS line. The only issue with this one compared to the EPS is that the EPS is a little more sturdier and scratch resistant. As you can see here, I have a little bit of wear and tear on it already, and I have not dropped it. I have not really dinged it up on anything. That's just from in and out of the holster and at appendix. So it does seem like it's a little easier to scratch than the EPS line. The glass itself, I've had zero issues with the glass. I don't know if we can get this on camera. It's a little dirty, but no scratches on the glass. I keep my shirt tucked in every day. So there's usually a lot of fuzz that gets down through your shirt, you know, and then it's on top of the optic head. That's why I wanted an enclosed emitter. But no issues. Like the glass is just as good as the day I got it. I do have one complaint, and it could be me. I'm not exactly sure. I have seen a few other people complain about it, but it doesn't bother me enough to send it off yet. But I don't know if you can see it here. You probably won't be able. It's not completely on axis. So like, you know, your regular dot's gonna be here, right? It's kicked just a smidgen. It's not completely straight. And I have seen other people. The reason why I started looking it up, because I was like, I'm telling you, this thing is off just a little bit. And I did look it up, and there were a few people that said that theirs were the same way. So I do think mine's off just a smidgen, but it's not enough to bother me. It's not enough to hinder my shooting, anything like that. All in all, this is a great optic. I do believe you're going to save yourself about 50 or 60 bucks getting this over the EPS. Like I said, I would choose this over the EPS, but the EPS is a little more sturdier material. But as far as the SCS Carry line, the SCS 320s, the other SCS optics, I don't have any experience with the other SCS line optics, but I haven't seen anything bad out of them from my guys in my circle that have had them. But like I said, I've probably put 2,500 rounds to this thing. I haven't had to go over the screws. Everything's been on point. I haven't had to re-zero it. And personally, I like it better than the EPS line. It does come with your backup irons here inside the gun, but I don't need them on this fuse. I can get a 1/3, probably more like half co-witness with this. But all in all, it is a great optic. If you do decide to purchase one, I highly recommend you purchase it from Gorilla Optics, even if you don't use my link in the description. They are a great business to work with. That's why I reached out to them originally with this, and I had been tagging them and everything I bought from them because it's one of my favorite companies to do business with. And luckily, I got on the partner program, and Gorilla Optics was on there. So Freedom Gorilla Optics was on there. So I was able to jump on board with them and promote these guys while helping myself. But like I said, guys, even if it wasn't helping me, I'd be promoting these guys. So if you do pick up one, it will be linked in the description. They have pistol lights, they have optics, they have LPVO scopes, all kinds of stuff on there, guys. But highly recommend you check them out, and I highly recommend you pick up a SCS Carry. Like I said, I pick it up over the EPS Carry, but to each their own. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.